Man, there is a lot of misperception out in the world about real estate investing. And I think first and foremost, there's just such a flavor of get rich quick, and there's such a flavor of it's gonna happen tomorrow. And the reality is that expectation and reality end up often looking quite a bit different. What I wanted to do today was listen, no hype, no overstating anything, no sugarcoating. I really just want to shoot straight and help you understand how most people become millionaires in real estate. And then I want to share with you what you realistically can do to accelerate it and crank it up.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
You know, the way that it worked for me is I had a job. My first year at this job, I made just barely $20,000. Now, I was a college kid. I was a full-time student, so I didn't feel so bad about that. But I realized that I needed to do something to grow my income. And so that next year, I committed myself to double my income. And that year, I bought my house, my very first house, with like $40,000 of equity. It was like worth $150,000. I got it for $110,000, which meant that on paper, I was worth quite a bit more. And that next year, I did better at my job. It had a commission component, and I was basically making, $40,000 at my job. But my real estate started kicking in on my first home. And a year later, 12 months later, I used the equity to buy a second house. Now, I had a basement apartment on my first house, so I was living for free after renting that out. But my second house was paying me about $600 a month. And so that second year, how much money did I make in real estate? Well, not a whole lot, but the people that moved in gave me $3,000 down up front, had a positive cash flow of $600. That tasted good, and I said I should do this more. The next year I bought a few more homes. Things started to escalate because by year 4.5, I had 25 properties, and boom, my track record, I started leveraging it that allowed me to go faster. But if you look at that, it's still 4.5 years is 4.5 years. It wasn't 6 months, it wasn't overnight. The first year was freaking boring. There was nothing but just buying, like saving up to buy the house. The second year was boring. It was buying my next house. It got exciting as it built some momentum. But listen, all hype aside, I was thrilled about it. I was excited, but it's none of this get rich quick anything. Now, if you fast forward, today, this year alone, I'll buy over 300 homes. My personal residual income cash flow will increase this year by $60,000 on top of everything else. So if you think about that, $60,000 a month of brand new income. And next year, I'll do even more homes. And then the recession's gonna hit, and I'm putting $1 billion fund together, and then I'm gonna take $1 billion and I'm gonna turn it into $3 or $4 billion. If you look at my humble beginnings to where I'm at today, yes, everything continues to grow. But that's the reality, is that real estate takes time, and you can make it go faster if you have a team, or if you have a system or a strategy. You need to leverage something to actually get yourself going faster. Now, I want you to understand that it was a ton of work for me in the beginning. Real estate on the side, I was putting in about 10 to 15 hours a week, which when you have a full-time job, and I was also going to school full-time, 10 to 15 hours was a lot of time. As I got more and more houses, I actually brought in a manager that turned it into like 10 hours a month. And today, managing my portfolio really takes a couple hours a month because I have a team that steps in and is actually now doing all the work. But I need you to understand, it was a ton of front-loaded work. You can't afford to go into this if you click one of the links, for example, down below this video, and you're like, Chris, I want to get with your team, and I want you to be my mentor. And Chris, help me. I'll do all that. I'll be your mentor. I'll give you the training. I'll let you into my live community. I'll get face-to-face training with you. I can make all that happen. But I can't have you doing it with the mindset of I'm going to get rich in 90 days or else I'm out, because that's where a lot of people are at today. If I look at like my success and I'm like, how did I create all this wealth, and why am I continuing to just, my exponential curve, like my real estate wealth building it looks like this right now. It's almost going backwards, just going straight up. And the reason why I have this massive growth curve is because of longevity. If you think about it, I've now been investing for 16 years. I might have been financially independent free after 4.5 years. I'll amass more wealth this year than I have in many of my cumulative years. And that's because I need you to understand it doesn't come for nothing. There's a time component and there's some hard work. There are some things that you can do to accelerate it, but I want to help you also avoid a common mistake. You don't have to be a handyman. You don't have to know how to do anything other than maybe change a light bulb. You don't have to become a realtor. You don't need that license. We're so trained to think that we have to work for money, that we have to invent work. The reality is, I make probably between $10,000 and $30,000 an hour in real estate. And that's because I know how to make the entire project work with less than an hour or two of my total time. Just think about that for a second. Like, that's what's possible. It took time to get there. Now listen, I'm not trying to scare anyone off, but if you're sitting there thinking, Chris, I can align with those expectations. If that's what reality looks like, and whether I'm on track to make $1 million or more in 10 years or 20 years, or maybe it's 5 years because I'll go faster, if you're still ready to play, then all you got to do is click the link below. And I want you to start by getting a copy of my book for free, because I want to show you how to go from nothing to $1 million in 4 different ways for people that have money and people that have absolutely nothing, like just a pile of debt like when I got started. And then if you really want to take the next step after that, you can actually talk to a member of my team and actually have them step in your shoes and share with you what this actually looks like, because this can be an incredibly exciting journey as long as you have your expectations set right. And with that, friends, that's the reality of the game of real estate, and that's how you win big in life. Have it going on in the background where you're living life on your terms, your way. You can still have your career, you can still do the things that you want in life, but always have real estate running in the background no matter what. Always, no matter what. Thanks for watching today's video. Make sure you subscribe. See you tomorrow.